Alrighty, people, welcome in. Brand new week.
Yeah.
And lots to talk about here, including tomorrow's stream. Alright. Look, I don't know if you guys are going to be watching this either live or later on, but I encourage you, if you're going to do anything tomorrow night, jump on the stream. Because we have a very exciting announcement, something that we're very excited to be a part of. And tomorrow, it's all pretty much out in the open. So let's just say, I think we're going to start having a lot of fun on streams. And without giving too much away,
I mean, we're already having a lot of fun on streams. We're just going to have more fun on streams.
Well, yeah, that was what I was getting at. But I think you throw me off my track now. I don't even remember what I was going to say. Beyond having fun, these streams are going to matter as well. In the sense of mock drafts are important, but when you actually put your money behind something, it means a little bit more, and you get a little bit more of people's like actual opinions rather than like hypotheticals, right? So that is going to be fun. Yeah, Style says Zach is a new head scout for the Commanders. Look, if they hired me over the last 5 years, their team would be in a much better spot pre 2024 era, which we love. What's up, Matthew? Welcome in. He says been stuck in Fort Dix without service. He sent a trade through, so we'll definitely have a look at that.
Yeah, we'll have a look.
It is not underdog. It is not underdog. What's up, Charlie? Welcome in. What's up, Styles? In the building. Scribbles in the building. What's up, Faulty? In the building. Yeah, no, you will never see an underdog neon sign on our streams. No disrespect.
We were partnered with Underdog, year and a half ago. It was a little bit different.
No comment. What's up, Bears? Welcome in. Welcome in. We appreciate y'all for being here with us. We're going to have a great stream. Today's stream is completely dedicated to helping you guys create some better Dynasty teams. Okay, so if you guys are out there and you've submitted a team review, you want your team playbook, today's stream, you might get it reviewed. Some of you guys have submitted offline reviews. Others have submitted live reviews. I did 2 reviews on my own, actually, this morning. I whipped them out, which was Corey F and Playmaker 7. So those 2 reviews are already done and dusted. All right, so those guys are already done and dusted here. Let me see. So Corey and Playmaker, your reviews have been done offline, and they will be sent to you within 72 hours. Now, we have some trade questions we're going to get through, but the live reviews that are definitely happening today include 49ers fan 11. Tech is an offline review, so if they want to upgrade, all they have to do is submit a $10 super message on the Flock site. Kefir is definitely getting done today. That's 2. Nurk is an offline review right now. They can update it if they want. Shuddy might update his on the stream, but we will definitely get to Jalen Hurts as well. That's 4, I think. And then beyond that, we might get to Scooty. We might get down that far. We'll have to wait and see. But let's start with these trade questions, shall we? And be a friend. Go ahead and smash that like button as today's stream begins. A little more low key, a little more built around helping people's Dynasty teams here. And the first, this is a super message. And I'm not even seeing it load up. Are you seeing the super message load up from Tiv? I'm not getting it. Tiv? Yeah, I'm not seeing any super message here.
Yeah, same. I'm not seeing anything either.
Yeah, there is no context here whatsoever. They wrote an entire book in the comment section, which that is just so you guys know, that's not what these super messages are intended for, guys.
That's probably why you were trying to play the system, and that's not how it works.
we appreciate you, Tiv, big time, but there's an entire book of information here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and mark this as complete, and I'm gonna give you a trade question voucher. Come back, submit the trade question, but we can't sit down and read a book for 10 minutes, unfortunately, with these super messages. I hope you understand, Tiv. But let me just give a quick little. Okay, what does it say? I mean, this is so much information to break down off a super message. I'm sorry, Tiv. Hopefully you understand. AKJ007 here. I think they were just showing some love. On the back, and they said just sending some positive love. Would love to be on one of the wait lists for your Dynasty leagues, and we added him to the wait list previously.
Hey, appreciate you, man.
A call here with a trade question. All right, so this is a Dynasty 2 quarterback, 12 team start 10 PPR, no tight end premium. And it looks like they're going to be sending away the 101 Aaron Jones and Jalen Coker. They get back the 105 and Jackson Smith and Jigba. It's a 12 team start 10. All right. And this is interesting. They have May, Prescott, Saquon, Monty, Connor, Jones, London, DJ, Metcalf, Worthy. They have the 101 and the 104 and the 109. So the question really is Ashton Genty, Aaron Jones, Jalen Coker, or what? Maybe Travion Henderson, JSN. Maybe one. I mean,
yeah. In my perspective, respectfully, I'm not a big Coker guy. I think you guys know that already. Aaron Jones gets a contract extension. So I'm seeing this straight up as, and Aaron Jones is going to be a viable backup backup to whoever is on your team. But having the 101 Ashton Genty for the 105 and Jackson Smith and Jigba, and having a look at your team here, already having Saquon Barkley, David Montgomery, you have the 104 there. You're running your wide receiver room in a start 10. It's okay. It's not amazing. I would actually be okay with this trade if I can guarantee a Travion, a Caleb at that 105. I mean, you're going to guarantee somebody at the 104.
Well, if I knew that we had 4 running backs go in the first 2 rounds, right? So Genty, Hampton, Henderson, Judkins, and then maybe Caleb Johnson.
You're kind of going to guarantee yourself some really good, a really good running back at the 104 and the 105 if you do make the trade.
In that scenario, and maybe you can hold this until the NFL draft and tell the person, hey, I am definitely considering it. I need to see how the NFL draft goes. And in that scenario, I'd be happy to take this package and wait to see if, I truly do have that kind of draft capital waiting for me at the 105. We do have another trade question here from Malfs, and then we're going to get into these reviews, okay? Malfs, who says, Bree sent this to me. I just want your insight. Also, Jordan Ott wants Herbert plus Hall for Amon-Ra and Young. So, Bree sent this. Bree would be receiving Amon-Ra. They would get, and she would be sending back to Matthew here. The 108, Roma Dunze, and a third. I remember we did review Matthew's team and Bree's team, but that was quite a while ago. So I can't fully wrap my head around each of their teams at this moment. But I do believe we mentioned to Matthew, his team was probably more one-year punt than compete. I can't remember. This might be a different team. But the 108 and a Dunze for Amon-Ra. It's a 12 team. It's a start 10. That seems relatively fair.
I think so. What Amon-Ra's value at the 102, 103 in the rookie picks, Rome is probably what, 103, 104 on a good day.
Yeah, I think the counter I might come up with just to make me a little more comfortable here is to get one of those seconds. So, make it the 204 instead of that third. Right? So instead of that third, we make it the 204, and then you send her back your third round pick, which would be the 308. You can send back the 308 and the 310. I think that's the point where you can go ahead and say, you know what, I can bet on a Dunze. I'm giving up a sure thing in a Amon-Ra. You know what I mean? So I think that would be my counter. Again, you want to get that mid-second and then you can send back your 2 thirds that you had. You had 125 third. You had 2. It's only showing 1 for some reason, but oh, there it is. Oh wait, no, I took it away. Anyway, send back both of your thirds, get that 204. I think that would be enough for me to say, okay, let's go ahead and send away the sure thing and bet on a Doomsday's breakout. But it's no guarantee at all. That's the thing.
Yeah, no
That's why you need that second round pick, I think, to give you a little more assurance.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much for that super chat, everyone, guys.
All right.
Love.
I think those are all of the trade questions, super messages. You guys can come back at any point during the stream and submit one on the site, and we will go through it. But the first team review we're going to look at today is from someone called 49ers fan. And I just wanted to talk to Darius real quick. Yes, we will get to your team review on this stream. Guaranteed. We're going to get to your team review on this stream. And to everybody out there watching the stream, if you want your team reviewed, it also comes with the team playbook, which is a customized game plan for your offseason. We'll tell you what to do with your draft capital, what trades to make. You can get your team playbook by becoming a land annual Mother Flocker member on the Flock site. You'll get a voucher which you can use on the Flock store. Just make sure that you get that live tier if you want it done live. The voucher, makes your offline review completely free, and it makes the live review for annual members just $7 after the voucher. And again, the only reason we asked for that little upgrade is because of the demand. You can see the demand right now is quite big. So if you're going to get an offline review, it's probably going to be done offline, right? And then the other thing I wanted to quickly address is if you're on a different promo code, or let's say you've already used your voucher and you want to get another team review, you'll see this little button at the top right here that says personal advice. You can click that button, go to team review, fill it out, and then you'll see Zach and Badaki from Fantasyland. So it's the same process if you want to get another team review or if you're on a member on a different promo code. But of course, if you have already used your annual voucher, then you'll have to just pay for it straight up. So yeah, for members, I think a live review is 63 for members because you get 30% discount with our promo code. What's up, your boy Bricks? What's the most you'd give up for JJ? I'd probably say like the 105, 106 range in that
Happy
range.
birthday to wifey as well.
Yes.
Happy belated. Yeah, I would agree with Zach though.
Yes. All right, Julian's in the chat, and this is his team, so let's go ahead and get it started.
All right.
Do your thing.
Yeah, appreciate you, Julian. Thank you so much for the support. We'll have a look at your team here and jump in at any point during this. Give context, something that we're missing, or if anything is wrong. So he says, I had a bad startup draft a year before last and had to go into rebuild immediately. I'm pretty happy with how far this team has come, but I'll like to get my like to get your opinion on some different options. Thanks. Okay.
Well, he is very clearly in my rankings the number 1 team in this league.
Yes,
nearing 40,000 player points. No one else is over 27.
I mean, you call yourself. I haven't even looked at the team yet. You call yourself an immediate rebuild. So you went into rebuild for what, a year and a half, maybe? You said the year before last. So I guess that was 2 years ago.
So he rebuilded last year, and he pretty much completed his rebuild, is what it sounds like.
It's essentially. And this is a 12-team Superflex start 10, which is essentially a middle ground. Yeah, that's how all of our Dynasty leagues with our community is set up as well. All right, but let's have a look at your team here.
Templates for him. Is that because we're in April?
It's because we're in April.
It's because we're in April here in the beautiful Sydney, Australia. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
And it's technically April Fools, and we could have definitely done something, but at the same time, they wouldn't have gotten it.
Well, now that you've told everyone, it's technically. I was thinking about doing something tomorrow, but because it wouldn't make sense for anyone in the chat today.
Oh, Zach was thinking about doing something. I'm not cruel.
Oh, really?
I'm not gonna put you guys through that
this
stuff.
This guy twists the knife more than anyone I know.
I'm not that type of person.
100%.
But Zach could be that guy. Zach could be that guy.
Go ahead. Let's look at the team.
Yeah, let's have a look at this team here.
I'm not going to waste anyone's time here thinking that you're some moral person. All right, go ahead.
Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, phenomenal quarterback room. You have 2 top 3 quarterbacks, and some people's the 101 crazy. And the 102 in the Dynasty startup, so that's phenomenal. At the running back position, Jameer Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, Dave Montgomery, and the list goes on. A great running back room there. locking up that Detroit backfield and having Jonathan Taylor. At the wide receiver position, you can start up to 5 wide receivers: Nico, Ladd, Richie Rich, Ricky Pearsall, Jalen Coker, and the list goes on. Not the strongest wide receiver room. It falls off after your top 3 wide receivers, but it is good with some high upside players with Dalton Kincaid, Jake Ferguson. But you have the 103, the 111, 211, 205. So you have some draft capital, which is really good as well. In for this team.
This team is in an incredible spot. I mean, my goodness.
100%.
You're definitely not a rebuilder anymore. We're gonna look at your pathway here, but you're absolutely not a rebuilder anymore at this point. I mean, you've done an incredible job at putting yourself in a really good position here. Think about the starting lineup right now, and we're not even going to talk about the draft capital. Okay, it'd be Daniels, Allen, Gibbs, Taylor, Nico, Ladd, Kincaid, or Ferguson, and then you need 3 more people, which would probably be Rasheed, Ricky, and Monty. Ricky! Every time I hear Ricky, I think of Talladega Nights. Anyway, and you have a good amount of draft
Ricky
capital here.
Shot.
And geez, Louise.
Different upbringings, you know.
Yeah. No comment. Okay, so it's a good team overall, honestly. Like outside the, yeah, exactly. I would, like Scribbles kind of took the words out of my mouth there. I agree. Like outside of the draft outside of the tight end, squad's in a pretty great spot. Overall team great. I'm leaning with those quarterbacks, man. I mean, I'm not even opposed to like tearing down from Josh. Not that we even need to, but I'm not opposed to it if we get like a Bowers and something.
Sure.
But anyway, I think this is. I don't want to. I kind of think A-. Is that too much?
I think it's A-. I don't want to put a B. I don't want to put a B+ on it because of how good it is with the draft capital. So I'm there with you.
Okay, let's go A-. And as far as the actual pathway for a team like this, you look at our options here from Thanos to full rebuild. I'm gonna lean strong contender here.
Yeah, I completely agree. I have contender there as well.
You're definitely not Thanos, but you're 100% in the mix. Untouchables would be Daniels, Gibbs. You could add Josh Allen there. Of course, Allen's more valuable than Gibbs. Maybe we do those two, but I think I will explore an Allen tear down. Not that we have to, but I just want to explore it. You've already got pretty good depth, so we might not need to go that direction, but again, I'll explore it. Untouchables, holds, Ricky Pearsall, Slick Rick, Jalen Coker, I like as a hold. I'm holding Rashee Rice in all the leagues that I have him in. You'll see he's my wide receiver 14. That's higher than most in the industry. I'd say Jake Ferguson as well, because I think he could recover some value this season. As far as drops, you can easily drop names like Cam Akers, Kamani Vidal, if you wanted to, Will Disley, and, Luke McCaffrey. These guys are all easily droppable if you wanted. I would like to pick up names like Elijah Mitchell, De'Ami Brown off the waiver wire. Elijah Mitchell signed with the Chiefs. Their running back room is shit. Maybe they draft someone. If they don't, Elijah Mitchell could be some sneaky value in season. De'Ami Brown signs with the Jags. They could draft a receiver, but right now he will have an important role. Those guys are worth picking up off the waiver wire. Have we done all admin?
That is all admin there. Let's get straight into it.
Okay.
The chalkboard.
Coming over to the chalkboard here. Yeah. You got a lot of great options here. So at the 103, between Hampton, McMillan, that's probably going to be the option. But there is a scenario where, I've just been assuming for people that McMillan ends up being my number one after the draft, but I have had Luther Burden ahead of him this entire process. But just the way that the draft is trending right now, it seems like Burden isn't a lock for round 1. So I've been more hesitant to say that, but if they both go round 1, I'd still would consider Burden. But it's going to be one of those two names, right?
Yeah.
At the 111, this is where you mentioned you'd like to target tight end. You are in a tight end premium. I think there are some leagues with no tight end premium that the tight ends will be gone by that point, but if they are available in your league, then definitely go after them.
Yeah, with the premium, even though it's only 0.5, I would imagine both Colston Loveland, Tyler Warren off the board by the 111. In my perspective.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't picture your team getting either of those guys in the first round. I kind of see you going if another tight end gets some good capital, which I'm pretty sure Zach is going to say, like the Elijah Royals at the 201 to 205 type of area, that's the type of pathway I see more for this team.
Yeah.
Rather than you getting somebody at the 111.
Yeah, you got names like Travis Hunter, who could be available late, or Sanders. You know, and a lot of people don't like him. The Goldens of the world. You know, so you'll have plenty of options. And even if you just stick and pick, this team's in a very good spot. You know, I don't think you really have to force a running back or wide receiver. I think you can go either direction with that first pick as well. But yeah, I mean, in a hypothetical world, let's say you added, let's say it was McMillan. So you added McMillan, you know, you added Loveland, let's say he fell. Then you got Sanders on the low, or Golden or a Hunter and Arroyo. I mean, that would definitely fill out this roster nicely.
Yeah.
And it's kind of leaning me towards, as we're doing this exercise, not selling Josh Allen. But I still want to try and explore
we
it.
Could definitely explore it. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of selling the quarterback. If anything, I was thinking of what can that 103 get us.
Oh, really?
But I don't think you can get like a McBride for the 103, or it will probably have to be more like a Sam Laporta.
Well, I just want to quickly explore the idea, because if we did this, it would be Brock Bowers plus, or it would be a Trey McBride plus for a team like this. And of course, we're not going to go and do this for a Tua as the exchange, right? Like, it needs to be, you need to have a legitimate starter here. So with the Bowers team, they have like Kyler Murray. I would probably do that, Kyler and Brock. Oh, yeah, they have both.
They have Trey McBride, yeah.
Oh, that sucks. That really limits.
That limits everything. Cause,
tear down
I mean,
here.
maybe it is leverage though to use that 103, potentially on this team.
Well, this tells me that your league is definitely not going to let Colson Loveland and Tyler Warren fall to the 111 if one guy has two of the top tight ends. A lot of people are probably hurting for top options in your league because one guy's hoarding all the best names, you know. So I mean, we got a guy starting Michael Mayer, bless his heart.
Bless
K. Doughton,
bless his heart.
Kyle Pitts. So I don't know if those guys are going to fall to you, man. I mean, yeah, look, I probably wouldn't do Kyler Murray and Trey McBride, but Brock Bowers I think I would do for Bowers and Murray. In a tight end premium, I'd be fine with that. And then the good thing is if you wanted to even go Cam Ward at the 103, you could do that. Then you'd have Daniels, Kyler, Ward in your quarterback room if you wanted to, assuming Ward goes number 1 overall. But I'll be honest, the more we talk about it, the less I really want to, and your league didn't really offer the flexibility. The other thing I would say is the 205, you could definitely look at trading for a veteran like the Devontae Adams of the world. We've talked about a lot. You know, a Chris Godwin of the world, and Alvin Kamara. You know, these type of names here, Adams, Godwin, Kamara, they really come to mind for me.
Yeah, I agree.
David Montgomery is interesting because I wouldn't be opposed to like using Monty and the 201 to tier up and get a better running back 3, someone we have less concerns about. Also not opposed to using like the 111 on like a DJ Moore as well, which we'll always say. You know what I mean? You know, so let's look at Monty and the 201. I want to see if there's a team, I'm going to sort by running backs here, that we can tier up with. Who has a lot of running backs? Quaid. Would you go Walker? Seems like too much, but what about Walker and the 212? Can Walker plus the 212 for David Montgomery and the 201?
Yeah.
I think I would do that.
I would do that. I would do that. I would do that.
Let's see. Nippy Pete's has James Cook, Josh
CMC.
Jacobs. There's no real like middle ground though. Like Cook and the 2-1 is, or Monty and the 2-1 is probably too much for a Cook level player. Let's keep looking here. Well, Bucky, you know I'm gonna try and go out and get Bucky. So The offer for me would be Monty, the 201, and the 205. If I can go out there and get a Bucky Irving for that price, I would do it. In fact, you can first try just the 201. Every league is a little bit different on how they value Bucky right now.
Yeah.
You could look at trying to get back that 304 in this deal as well as a little kicker in this deal. Is there any other players running backs you wanted to target there? I think our options are quite limited.
The other one I would say is the 201 with Chuba.
Okay, yeah.
That's probably the only other thing I can.
The only issue is that it's not an issue, but it gives us 4 running backs.
Exactly. It gives us 4.
Our top guys.
Exactly. So it's an option, but it's not suitable, I guess, for the builds. If trying to tier up from the Monty.
Yep. No, I agree with you. Running backs are hard to tier up with right now, for so many reasons. But at wide receiver, yeah, I mean you're not really in a position where you can look at that. I would say as well, like at the 201, this is where maybe Hawkinson comes into play as well. Maybe even like the 111 in a tight end premium. You know, you're guaranteed to get
Hawkinson?
Say again.
I said 201 straight up for Hawkinson. I would doubt that would be feasible, but I could be wrong.
I guess it depends on the league. And depends on what people think about TJ Hawkinson. I mean, he's been quite undervalued, at least from my research. But of course, give it a go and see what happens. But in a tight end premium, I think we would both do that. But I think those are your options there. There's not really a player. We talked about maybe using Josh Allen as a tier down. Can't really do that anymore. There's not another player on this team that I really think is a sell or that is worth exploring in the market.
No. I mean, the only other ones, no. No, not at all. You can't really exploit anyone here.
I wouldn't mind if this team used the 103 on a running back wide receiver, and then every other pick they went out and made a move.
Yeah, getting like a vet or something.
Yeah. So they went out and they got a Devontae Adams at the 205, or they used Monty in the 201 to get Bucky, and they used the 111 on Hawkinson in a premium. Like I wouldn't mind if a team like this just kind of goes all in with the Daniels, Allen, Gibbs combo. I think that 3 alone is going to get you into the playoffs. If we can add enough quality names alongside of it, I think we can definitely go compete this year.
Yeah. Julian, let us know if you have any last minute questions, man. Once again, appreciate you, and to let you and everyone know, you should be receiving your playbook within 72 hours on the Flock Fantasy Message System. Customized with everything that we drew up here for you today. But appreciate you, Julian. Once again, the floor is yours if you have any last minute questions or anything you wanted to explore.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Great team. Fun to review, and great job rebuilding, because most teams that are coming out of a rebuild don't look like this. Just so you know, very few teams coming out of a rebuild look like this, where they're actually already the best team in their league. So you've clearly done a great job. Keep trusting your gut with this one. If you're watching this video, appreciate y'all for being here. Go ahead and do us a favor. Smash that like button to show some love. Got a great stream ahead. Going to help you figure out what to do with your draft capital. All right, we're going to help you figure out what trades to make, what direction to go with your dynasty teams. And if you guys are out there and you want your team playbook, which we would consider, it's a customized game plan for your offseason. It really is. It really helps you know exactly what to do with your dynasty team. Well, you can become a promo code LAND annual Mother Flocker member. You'll get a voucher which you can use through the Flock store. That voucher will make the offline review free. It'll make the live review just $7 for annual members if you want to upgrade. And the reason we need you to upgrade is because of the pure demand right now. But if you're a member on a different promo code, or you've already purchased a team review in the past, you can do that same process through the Flock store. But you just buy one a la carte instead of having a voucher, right? Appreciate you, Julian. It sounds like he is happy. And your review will be, your playbook, will be sent to you within 72 hours. All right, Tech
Appreciate
is
you, man.
currently offline. So the next one is Kefir Dale.
Kefir Dale. Kefir Dale, let us know if you're here with us. Incredible name. Thank you so much for the support. Let's have a look at this team in this context here. He says, by the way, 2 quarterback, 12 teams start 10. And that is clearly a super flex, and that's the same thing. Middle ground, just like we just saw from Julian's team. Yeah. Really common setup there. In the context, he says, my thoughts is Hampton at the 102 and debating a wide receiver or running back at the 106. I have too many pass catches on Buffalo. Should I be trading Darnold to capitalize on his value now that McCarthy is set to start in Minnesota? Other ideas? Thanks, fellas. And yes, Orville is a local town, hence the I don't even know how to say that. Redenbachers?
Yeah, Orville.
Oh, the old Redenbacher. Yes. Okay, that didn't click in my head at the time. But yes, appreciate you.
Love it. I love it. Well, it looks like y'all have a Thanos in this league. Or close to it. I wouldn't say this is a Thanos, but he's close. And everyone else is trying to catch up. You are currently ranked 4th overall. There's no premium in this league. And why don't you go ahead and walk us through this team as I set up the chalkboard for us?
Yes. All right. Let's have a look at this. Jalen Hurts, JJ McCarthy, Sam Darnold, Deshaun Watson. Just to answer your question about Sam Darnold right off the bat, we would personally probably in this setup keep him as your QB3 since Deshaun Watson is not a starting quarterback right now because of his ACL or ruptured Achilles. So you could capitalize on Darnold or maybe tear down in some way, but at this point, that quarterback position is pretty strong. At the running back position, Tyrone Tracy, Jalen Wright, Jonathan Brooks, and the list goes on. Not the strongest, clearly ranked 12th in this league, but you do have the 102 and the 106, which is exciting. You can start it to 5 wide receivers: Brian Thomas, Jalen Waddle, Shakir, Keon Coleman, Cedric Tillman, and the list goes on there. Of course, that's your starting 5. And like you did say, you do have pass catches in Buffalo with also Dulce and Kincaid. So you have Shakira, Coleman, and Dulce Kincaid are the pass catches for Buffalo there. Not the strongest wide receiver room, even with Brian Thomas, Jalen Waddle.
I am not a big fan of this team overall, to be honest with you, in the sense of like wanting to just rock with what we have right now and go through the draft. I think you could compete, but man, these picks are going to have to hit. Tyrone's going to have to keep his job. I mean, think about the starting lineup right now. Is it Hurts, McCarthy, Tyrone, maybe Hampton if you get him at the 102? I'm not sure. Then Brian, Waddle, Kincaid, and we still need to start 3 names, which right now 2 of them are Buffalo Bills pass catchers, and that's assuming no one gets injured, you know. I think if all your draft capital hits and you don't have injuries, then I think you're probably competing for real. But there is a very easy picture to paint here in which you are not one of the favorites in this team and struggling to make the playoffs. And, you know, I am 100% with TD here in the comment section who says tear down from Hurts. I think that's probably what I'm going to do here. Overall team grade, I would probably lean like a B-.
Yeah.
That might be generous, but I'm just looking at the draft capital. It's pretty decent draft capital.
No, I think B- is pretty fair.
Then the draft capital grade overall, pretty good amount of draft capital. I mean, you have 3 picks in the first 14.
Maybe just a B+.
Yeah, B+.
Yeah.
As far as the pathway for a team like this, I mean, punt feels like the way I would lean with a team like this one. What about you?
I guess it just depends on the moves that we make. Like if Hurts is going off this team and you capitalize, like let's just say we use TD scenario, you get May and you get let's just say you get like a T Higgins hypothetically.
Yeah.
Like then it can be more of a sleeper. So I think it just depends on what we do.
Okay, well let's call it an in and out then, and let's explore all of our options. Because yeah, I guess depending on how,
if you can pull off some of the trades that we're about to offer, and then some sort of sleeper, then that's okay.
Yeah. Exactly. So let's go in or out, and we'll kind of present an overview of each of these options. I think regardless, you're probably not selling these picks for veterans. So we'll talk about that. Your untouchables, I'd say Brian Thomas, and
I'll put Jalen Hurts, but we're probably gonna move him anyway.
Yeah, maybe his future picks is better.
Sure.
Holds on this team, I'd say Waddle, even though if we want your punt, I think regardless he's a hold more than anything right now. I'll go ahead and put Michael Mayer on that list as well if he ends up getting out of Las Vegas. Jalen Wright is another strong hold, and then J.J. McCarthy. He fits your timeline regardless. As far as drops, you got plenty of names you could drop here, like Yeshivas, Moss, Eric All, after the ACL. You've got plenty of names that are eligible for drops here. A common name on the stream so far, Elijah Mitchell, I'd rather hold than a lot of the guys you have here. I'd like to hold a Keyshawn Boutte, a De'Ami Brown over a lot of the names you have there. Just as a mental note for you. All right, have we done all admin?
Yeah, that's all.
All right, assuming you stick and pick at the 102, you'll be in a spot here where, you're probably going Hampton or McMillan. I imagine it's probably one of those two names based off consensus right now. At the 106, you're going to be in a position where, Burden might be on the board, Henderson, Judkins, Johnson. There's a scenario here where you could maybe go double running back if it's the best player available, right? Like Hampton, Henderson, for example, and Hampton, Judkins, something in that light. At the 202, there's a chance Caleb Johnson falls, or the Igbukas of the world, Goldens, Loveland, Warren. It's not a tight end premium, is it? No, so those guys can fall, and you could use a tight end. So I don't have a problem with addressing it there. Then at like the 206 onwards, it's just this huge tier of players we love. Draft capital will ultimately determine BPA. But, all these running backs and Jalen Royals, Trey Harris, Iowa State guys, all those names are options there. I do think this is a team that could max value and tier down from the 102, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, I agree.
We can go from the 103 to the 107, and we will look at all the options for each of these picks. See that super chat, guys. We will get to that super chat after this team review. So we see it, Eric. We just want to make sure that this team review gets their love and their attention. So once we're done,
appreciate you, man.
Once we're done with this, we'll come right over there and make sure and reply to your question there, my friend. So we'll look at tiering down from that 102 and what's a possibility there. I wouldn't use these picks to go out and buy players in 2025. And then I think the other big one here is like moving Jalen Hurts, being open to Tyrone Tracy offers. Outside of that, maybe Keon Coleman. Honestly, you might be able to sell either of those two names. And then Jonnu Smith. I think those are your main moves you're making with the team like this. So let's explore, shall we? Let's look at from top to bottom. Let's see what these picks that are in the top 7. So
I think the first one is let Geno cook.
Yeah, 104.
Yeah.
So the 104, interesting spot because this guy really doesn't have much that excites you. I guess you could go Hawkinson.
Kind of adjust that tight end position, not have to worry about it.
Yeah, you could send your 211 maybe, and get back like the 304. I don't know, trying to get creative here for you. There's full transparency. There's really not like a perfect fit for this 104 right now that I'm seeing. Like you're not going to get Xavier Worthy to move back 2 spots.
No.
I don't know. You're going to have a tough time maximizing. There's not like the perfect fits there. Let's keep
David. Team 8 is the next one with the 105.
So 105 Olave could be great.
Yeah, 105 Olave. I like that.
You know, let's say the 102 ends up being like locked and loaded, a top name that everybody ends up being obsessed about, right? I think you could wiggle your way into that. I also don't mind sending the 211 in a deal like this either. You know, I think Olave is a very easy acquirable name right now, so that's a great fit. And every league is going to be different. These are starting points. We can't ever guarantee that certain trades are or aren't going to get done. The 107. I would probably just require a first-round pick from this guy. There's nothing I want to build around, really, as a one-year punt. So it'd be the 107 in a future first. Ideally, 2027. And the 103. This is just to move back one spot. Would you take on the head case of Pickens? I definitely would do it for Pearsall.
I'll do it for Ricky.
Yeah. I would definitely do it for Pearsall. And then we can throw them like a Jonnu Smith or something.
Yeah.
So those are your options there to tear down. Let's look at Jalen Hurts. I think this is where really the meat of this review is going to be. We want to look for contending teams that need quarterbacks. So the first one, I'll go down here. Caps Crusher. Kyler Murray's there. I think Trevor Lawrence is where you make your money on a tier down here. So I'm thinking like Trevor. Would you go Trevor Neighbors? I don't know if you could do that, but I would definitely do it if I can.
Yeah, I would do that.
I mean, I wouldn't even mind sending that to 11 back in this deal as well.
Yeah. I mean, I also like Trevor Jackson as well. That's a little bit of a dip, so you can get something else out of that.
Trevor Jackson, the 111. In an ideal world, instead of the 111, you get this guy's future first instead.
Yeah,
but that could work for sure. Who else is contending? I mean, we don't even really need to look at bad teams. I'm gonna go from top to bottom here and have a look. So, C.J. Stroud, for example, from the Houston Texans. Now that's his name. Might be tough to make a trade with someone whose team name is Houston Texans, but yeah. we can add Tyrone Tracy into this deal because they need running back. So
running back, yeah.
Let's add Tyrone Tracy. Let's up the ante a bit. Hurts and Tyrone Tracy. And we want back.
You want one of those wide receivers.
Yeah, I'd say probably Garrett or London.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say, London in that area.
Yeah, let's say C.J. Stroud plus Drake London. And then we could probably ask for the 110 and a future first. Or maybe I'm over. Let's just say a future first. Ideally 2027 again.
Yeah, I think you can get one more, but I don't think you can get both.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I mean, a deal like that might even let you compete this year. You know? But yeah, especially with the talks of the whole tush push might be getting banned. Might be good to get ahead of that.
Yeah.
Because that definitely could make an impact, you know. All right, let's keep looking here. Caleb Williams is definitely ideal, like a Caleb, a Dunze. I'm not sure though. I really don't think a team like this in the state it's in is going to be looking to tier up. So let's not waste our time.
Chasing Jesus.
Amen. Penix. What about Penix Ayuk 109?
Yeah, that's actually perfect. I'll do that. Penix Ayuk 109, but at the same time, this guy might not be in the same thing. Kind of like the other team, but could be. I agree. If you can get that done.
Yeah. Jordan Love is a great option, but again, this guy doesn't have like the names. It'd have to be Love the 107, 207. I don't know that they'd be willing to go there. You know?
What about Jordan Love T?
Yeah. I have no problem doing that. I just thought we were trying to rebuild one year punt this, so.
Yeah. I guess in this pathway.
Yeah. I have no problem with that if he wants to go that route. Knicks 108. This guy's not going to tear up. Look at the team. Let's be realistic.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have anything.
Okay, I think those are your main options there. I don't think anyone else is really equipped to tier up. So I think those are your main options. I like all those deals for you personally.
Yeah, I actually do as well.
With Tracy, any first, any year is fine. Or you could even look at an early second, 201 to 204 range for this year. Keon, honestly, it's the same. Like, it's the same exact thing for Keon Coleman, I think. Which is any first in any year or an early second. I think that's the range for this guy. Jonnu Smith, I'd say any second in any year. You can wait until you're in season if you want to sell them higher. But I think that's the pathway for this team, my friend. Feel really confident about all the options we gave you. I mean, in a hypothetical world, you know, you go out there and you turn Jalen Hurts into Penix, Ayuk in the 109. That's great because now you have Penix, McCarthy, Darnold, you know, the 109 there added into the arsenal to think about next year to kind of, you know, see what you can do next year. You add Ayuk to a wide receiver room that desperately needs it. I think that deal makes a ton of sense. Love the Stroud deal as well. You know, as far as tearing down, we were big fans of the Olave option. And yeah, I am a big fan of this pathway we've given this person.
Yeah, thank you so much for the support. Kefir Dale, Overman, and Baca. Appreciate you. You should be receiving your playbook within 72 hours on the Flock Fantasy message system with customized with everything that we drew up here today. And like I said, thank you so much for the support, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you big time, my friend. All right, so let's get to the super chat, and then I think we've had someone submit a question on the live stream as well through the Flock site. Eric says, start 10 super flex. Would you trade the 207 for Kamara? Yeah. If you're competing, we go ahead and take Kamara. Exactly. Yeah.
Just if you're competing, Eric, you know, if you have a window right now that you feel really confident you can make the playoffs, or Alvin Kamara is that missing piece, sending that 207 is easily an easy trade. But if you're in a window where you know you're not going to make the playoffs, just keep that 207, continue to rebuild. But
I think even if I was rebuilding, I probably would take that trade now and then sell Kamara in season.
Sure, because you can definitely get more value in season. But yes, I completely understand that.
Well, we're on the same page there. So Big T back with a free trade question. Annual member gets a free trade question, and it looks like they are getting the 102, and they're sending away Rice and Bateman. I am the biggest Rashee Rice stan out there. I have been telling people to go buy him, but that's because in plenty of leagues he is affordable. This is ridiculous. Of course, we're going to take the 102. Yeah, I mean, if anyone in my leagues wants Rashee Rice and they want to send me the 102, as much as I love him, I will part ways with him for the 102.
Yeah, I completely agree. You do that, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Big T.
You know, that is guaranteed the number one receiver in this class, or the number one overall pick at quarterback, or a running back with first round capital. So, yeah, as much as I love Rice, it would pay me to let him leave my team, but I would have to do that. We do see your upgrade here, Tyler. I see you. So we'll get to your team might be next, actually. Corey and Playmaker, those were offline reviews that were already done. Tech is also an offline review. And that makes Shuddy next anyway. So let's go straight to Shuddy, who did upgrade. He went ahead and upgraded to the live review. Appreciate you. I'll go ahead and mark that as done.
Hey, appreciate you, Tyler, man. Come on.
Appreciate you, brother. Let's get to the team and break it all down. It's non-PPR, is that right?
Is it? Oh yeah, non-PPR, half tied in premium. Yeah, correct us if there's anything, Tyler. Obviously, jumping at any point in time.
Sorry, just quickly. TD said to get that trade push through, would you throw Hurts in and May on the 102 side? No, I wouldn't just throw those in. No, you need to get a much bigger tier down. I love Drake May, but that's not a big enough tier down for Hurts.
That changes the whole dynamic of that trade.
That changes it drastically, my friend.
Yeah.
Okay. It's tiered PPR. Okay, so tell us the tiered PPR then. Tell us what it is for each position. But sorry, start 9 Superflex. So this is a meat and potatoes Superflex lineup. You know,
meat and potatoes.
Depth is not as important in a league like this. We got to keep that in mind. But yeah, why don't we go ahead and look at this? Go ahead.
All right, appreciate you, Tyler. Once again, thank you so much for the support. Blue World Order
Oh my gosh.
is your team name, and you're currently ranked first. Um, Drake May, no QB2.
Whoa. Read the context, no?
Oh, you're absolutely so right. I didn't read the context. He said, took over this team around week 3 last year. I was very active and punted last year. Recently traded the 202, the 210, and Coker for T. Higgins. I think that's a great trade. Also traded Zay Flowers, the 108, and the 312 for the 103 and Jacoby Myers. I also think that's a fantastic trade. Wonder if I should keep rebuilding or try to compete. Okay. Well, have a look at this team now. Once again, appreciate you. Drake May and no other quarterback. At the running back position, Trey Benson, Tank Bigsby, and no other. Look, you're just another victim of the Trey Benson, Jonathan Brooks 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
You had a starting running back. You felt really confident. I was right there with you.
There needs to be an emotional support group for the Benson Brooks owners from 2024.
You were just so confident. You was just like, I know exactly what you didn't hesitate. You said Trey Brooks, like you instantly drafted him, and it was like you felt really.
What's
good
crazy about Jonathan Brooks is he's going to be a historical outlier for hit rates at running backs in round 2. He'll be an historical outlier, unfortunately. But
at the wide receiver
nice.
position,
yeah,
Puka, Lad, T, Rome, Xavier, Jacoby, phenomenal. And Brenton Strange looks like the starting tight end for the Jacksonville Jaguars, unless they trade back into the first and get a Tyler Warren, or they could take Tyler Warren. And what they have, the 6th, 7th pick. But the draft capital is phenomenal. You have the first 3 picks in the first 3 rounds, or the first round, excuse me, the 110, the 211, the 212, and you have 226 first with a lot of 26 seconds as well.
Tyler says all positions, it just goes higher as catcher gets longer. So I'm more confused now. What do you mean, Tyler? Do you mean running backs have no points per reception, wide receivers have half point per reception, tight ends have full point per reception? What? Because when I hear tiered, typically it means running backs are half, wide receivers are full, and tight ends are 1.5.
Are you saying like per catch? So like if a wide receiver gets a 10-yard catch, that's half a point, but if he gets a 20-yard,
so your PPR is tiered, but the longer the catch. Wait, are you saying the longer the catch, the more PPR? Because that becomes a point per reception length.
Yeah, so 0.
Wow. Okay, interesting. That honestly makes a lot of sense because the more valuable a catch is, further it's downfield typically.
Sure. So you want big playmakers, the guys that go downfield. I've never heard of
that before, but that actually kind of makes sense. And I kind of love it, actually.
Which makes sense because like the Pukas get those big catches. Then I guess Ladd had big catches, deep catches. So the Wan'Dale Robinsons didn't do shit for you.
Yeah, that would make so a league like that would actually value Wan'Dale properly. But anyway, that is super interesting. Okay, so. Well, first off, you got nice bare bones here with the May, Puka, Ladd, T, Adunze, and the picks.
Nice bare bones. Good bones.
Yeah, there's great bones on this one. Your starting lineup right now, it's to start 9, so that's good. But it would be May, and we have no idea who else. Then we don't really know who running back is, but yeah, I mean, look, it's pointless looking at a starting lineup with this team. I'd say for a rebuild, you're in a great spot. The amount of draft capital you have is ridiculous. You also have a first in 26. I imagine you have picks in 27 as well with the way you built this up. Including the draft capital, I'd put this around like a B+. It's a lot of bare bones, but with the strength of the capital alone will be an A+. But I think there's a lot of great moves to be made with a team like this. I love that you have Brenton Strange as well. He says he has 227 firsts, 2 seconds, and 2 thirds. Okay. You know, this whole tiered PPR is super interesting to me, actually. I think it's really, really intriguing. But okay. So, untouchables. 101. Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
Holds. Adunze.
I got Dunze,
Benson.
Benson, Strange. I need a fourth.
I like Strange as a hold for sure. Yeah. I would put likely in that conversation because it feels like even though he's getting older, at some point he's going to take over. I don't think that's this year, but... Okay, drops. What the hell is going on with this quarterback room, Tyler? Brother, what the hell is going on?
He did that on purpose. He did that on purpose.
Why?
He picked up every quarterback in this past year,
these guys?
waiting for somebody to fall and then try and trade him for some value.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what you try.
You could drop the entirety of Marcus Mariota downwards. You could drop Johnny Wilson. You know, we weren't big Johnny Wilson guys, and I just don't see how he breaks out from here. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? A 6'7" wide receiver? Are you kidding me? How is he not a first round? I mean, all respect to the people that said that, but like, no, we were told.
Our comment section told us he was the next Mike Evans last year.
I've been wrong too. So like, I've been there.
We've all been there. Devon Vele is worth rostering over any of those quarterbacks that I highlighted. He says hoarding the backups, but yeah, you can get rid of those guys whenever. The thing is, most of these guys aren't even going to net you a third when they're backups. Everyone knows from Marcus Mariota downwards very clearly that these guys will never, ever, 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 ever have value. You know? And look, it's just our advice. You don't have to let them go. But I just don't imagine anyone giving you even a third round pick. You know? So yeah.
Sorry, it's just red TVs.
Yeah, you gotta be playing power forward, baby.
Brother,
you gotta get on the block.
Honestly. Anyways, he says QBs are very valuable in this league, which I kind of imagine, which makes this league interesting, which makes me think this is still a 1-year punt.
Oh yeah,
I mean, unless you can look, you're gonna get a running back.
When you add Genty to the running back room, and you add you're at least gonna get another Hampton. You're gonna have 2 starting running backs, is what I'm saying, no matter what.
So does that mean he goes like?
The real issue is quarterback 2. If you can sell like the 110 for Trevor, a Goff, like that kind of range, I think you're cooking. But
wait, sorry, really random, Tyler. Does the rushing upside count per run as well? Towards like the Lamars are crazy expensive? Like with the tier? Like, do they get more points as they rush more?
Right.
So if Lamar gets a 20-yard run.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this is a sleeper team. I think based off the moves that you make, we don't need to go all in, but I think you're a sleeper team based after the draft capital is all said and done. So let's bring it up. Let's bring up the chalkboard here. We done all admin?
So sleeper team, all admin is done.
Okay, so at the 101, you're gonna grab Genty. This team needs a Genty. It's a start 9, by the way. I'm not gonna be suggesting tier downs in a start 9. Certainly not in a league where you already have that much depth. In a larger league with less depth, maybe we could look at a tier down. But I'm probably not gonna go ahead and consider it for this type of league. At the 102 and the 103, you're probably between these names. Maybe you add both of them. Maybe another guy goes in first round like Henderson and it's a surprise, or you're actually a Cam Ward eligible team as well. As much as I hate to say it, you're also eligible there.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I'm not saying you should go him at the 1-3, but you can go Ashton. If Ashton and Amarion goes in the first round, you can go him at all 103 if you really wanted to. Yeah. But that's up to you.
I'm not the biggest Ward guy, but again, if he goes number 1 and everyone loves him, then I'll have to move him up my board big time. So. But at the 110, if you think Sanders goes round 1 and you think he falls to the 110, I probably would prefer going Genty, Hampton, McMillan, or Burden, or, a different route there and grabbing Sanders later on down the board. I do not have a strong opinion between the two. And if they both go round 1, that's a fine option. I don't really know if there's a tight end premium or not based off what you said, but if there is, you could also consider the Loveland and Warrens at the 110. And then beyond that, like this far out of in the second round, it's really kind of pointless to tell you what to do with these picks. All right, so I'm just gonna say 211 to the 402 and kind of save ourselves some space on the graphic, because let's be honest, it's pointless to really try and navigate that right now. And I'm not going to suggest that you trade down for any of these picks, but you could trade for a vet. And again, this is if you wanted to go more of a competing route, like that 110. I think you're in that kind of category of, let's see, like Baker's not far off, I don't think. Jared Goff.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jared Goff, Bryce Young, Dak Prescott area.
Yeah.
I doubt. No, you can't get Brock Purdy for the 111. Can you? No, you can't get him.
Yeah, like those quarterbacks are in that in that range. Trevor as well, I'd say. Might prefer Trevor over all these guys because you're a younger team. So I might actually prefer Trevor over any of those other names, just to kind of fit your timeline a little bit better.
Tyler said, would you risk passing on a quarterback at hopes? Passing on a quarterback at 3, hoping someone to fall at 10. I think it depends on your league, right? Depends on how you feel. Like, where's picks 4 to 9 look like? Do you feel really confident that they have a quarterback if they're not going to draft a third quarterback? He says, I've been trying to trade 3 to maybe get Lawrence, Dak plus.
If you want to trade 3, I think we should be aiming a little higher, personally. And if your league is not, first off, if your league is not entertaining Dak and Lawrence plus for the 103, this might be very difficult. You might actually just need to go Cam Ward. If that's how highly, like legitimately, if you've been sending out offers where you get Dak or Trevor Lawrence plus for the 103, in every league I'm in, people would heavily consider that. And if you're telling me that people haven't, then you might actually need to stick and see if Cam Ward blows up. Because,
I mean,
yeah, I would never say Trevor Lawrence is the piece that you think about at the 103, or Dak Prescott. It wouldn't even be close to my value. You haven't sent offers yet. Okay.
Okay.
Well, why don't we look at the Trevor Lawrence owner real quick, and let's see if there's something that we can make sense of here. You know what I mean? Where is Trevor Lawrence? Where is he at? This is Mankind, who, if they're honest with themselves, could definitely use a rebuild. I mean, Brian Thomas is ideal, but I don't think that happens. But what if you did the 110? Like, could this kind of get them interested? Could you do the 103 and the 110 for Trevor and Brian? I mean, you could add both of your second rounders as well. You had the 211 and the 212.
One thing I was thinking for you, because I know obviously you just released that video of selling your 26 first.
Yes.
Can you have 2 26 first? Maybe you can utilize one. You have yours in former People's Champions.
Yeah, maybe that's a great point. So we'll go 103, 110, and we'll do 2026 first, like not yours, so you have flexibility. I would pay that for Trevor and Brian. And the thing is, for a rebuilder, I think that would be a tough pass.
Yeah, I mean, like who
Are you an Al?
I'm trying to think of Mankind and
to the center of a Tootsie Pop.
I'm thinking of Mankind is like, okay, why would I trade Trevor? Why would I trade my stack away for the 103?
Well, number one, Trevor has been the least attractive quarterback that's gotten a big old contract since Daniel Jones. And you finally have some signs of life as a rebuilder. I'm just saying you could think, do I sell him before he has another disappointing year? I don't feel that way. But I'm saying I think as a rebuilder they can consider that. But yeah, that's an incredible option.
I think that is a good option right there. And then like you're getting a wide receiver, you're getting a quarterback, and you're still going to get your 1-2 punch at running back with the 101 and the 102, which is crazy. And that's instantly going to put you into a contender if a trade like that does go down.
Yeah. You could go Goff, JSN as well. It would be maybe you wouldn't need to include those future firsts, you know. Maybe you could actually just do the 103 and the 110 for a deal like that.
Sure.
Like, I think that's probably actually in range. And then you already have a lot of strength at wide receiver, but you could afford to move a Higgins if you did this. You know, you could afford to move JSN after you buy him. Ideally, you're buying a running back, but yeah, not like a Saquon for a team like this. Penix, of course, we'll always think about Penix. I mean, depending on how you feel, anytime we release a video about Bo Nix, it's like two sides of a war, where we think he's undervalued and people think he's overvalued. So in some leagues, you could get him for the 103. That would be perfect, I think. The Tribal Queef here. Great name. Penix. Yep, we love us some Penix. Could you do the 103 and Olave? Oh, sorry, 103 for Michael Penix plus Olave. We would need to add something on top of this to kind of get it over the line. Which,
yeah,
maybe both of those seconds, depending on their belief in Penix, that could start a conversation. But I think those are your main options at quarterback.
Sorry, Tyler in the chat, he says, I have an offer for T and Rome for Neighbors. So you give T and Rome for Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Who has Neighbors?
The issue is Worthy becomes your 3, but you have capital. Let's be honest, in a start 9, you can only start 4 receivers anyway, no?
So you'll have Puka, Ladd, Neighbors, Worthy. You know, and then at the 110, let's just say hypothetically, you go Ashton, Amarion, Cam. At the 110, if you do keep all your picks, that could be Malik. Or sorry, Emeka.
Yeah.
So then you'll have Puka, Ladd, Xavier, Emeka. That would be your starting 4.
I definitely don't mind that idea. T and Rome for Neighbors. I do think Rome is going to blow up this year. That's my only concern. Like, T is valued where he should be now.
What about T and Worthy?
Well, T and Worthy would be a no-brainer. I just don't think that happens. What about T, Worthy, and like both of your seconds? Would they do that? Okay, he likes Worthy.
You know the guy likes Worthy. Well, then just try the flip first, and then what you can do is add the seconds, like Zach is about to.
I think you have to come with the seconds. But yeah, that would be an ideal world. But again, in a start 9, you can only start 4 receivers anyway. The issue is you'd have no depth whatsoever. You'd have Jacoby, I guess, but that would put you in a tough spot. Yeah, I would love that deal there. But as far as on your team, like players I'm wanting to sell, there's not really a name that comes to mind here.
I mean, I think the one that comes to mind is Worthy. I mean, we keep seeing in multiple leagues.
Yeah, right.
With the 103. The last time we saw it was 103 for Xavier. So I think it's the 104 to like the 106, I think.
Yeah. I don't think in most leagues he'd go that high, but I agree with you. If we can get him 100%, I would go as far as the 107 for sure, just to send him away.
Just to see what you can get there. But
yeah, I like this plan a lot. You have a lot of flexibility. You're definitely going to be a sleeper team. And he says I could also probably get the 104 for T. Yeah, I mean that's really just like personal preference at that point. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It is personal preference. I think I mean, maybe because I'm a Giants fan and I love Malik Neighbors. I think I would rather have that, get younger, and have a guy that's the number one that's going to produce.
Yeah.
But either way, Tyler, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. Let us know if you have any last minute questions. You should be receiving your playbook within 72 hours on the Flock Fantasy message system, customized with everything that we built here for you today. But phenomenal team. You are a draft away from competing for sure.
Yeah.
He says, how much would y'all add to the 110 to get Prescott? Not sure if 110 by itself would get it done.
I wouldn't add anything to it. That's paying more than what I've seen him go in almost every league I've seen. So, dude, like, respectfully, especially in a start 9, no. I'm not paying more than the 110. And again, if, like, quarterbacks are unrealistic buys in your league, then you need to go Ward as high as the 103.
Let's see.
If the 110 isn't enough for Dak Prescott, then no. We're not having a conversation beyond that.
And Tyler, if your league does use keep trade cut, Dak Prescott for the 110 is a dead even fair trade if you want to use that as leverage.
And earlier in the season, you could get him for an early second, earlier in the offseason. That was the best time to buy him then for sure. Hey, Kevin M, I appreciate the donation, my friend. Can you tell us what your Flock Fantasy username is on what is your Flock Fantasy username? Also, just to clarify, guys, if you want to upgrade your team review, we would please request that you do it through the Flock site. You see that super message option there? Now, the reason is very simple, guys. It's just because YouTube takes 30% of any donations that you make. So, Kev here, I appreciate the love. I appreciate him putting that $10 donation in there. We're 100% going to honor that and do a live review for him. But the issue with doing a super chat on YouTube is that they take 30% of your donation away from us. YouTube, it's quite harsh on the creators, in my opinion. Whereas on the Flock site, right, that isn't happening. But he says Drew Peacock is his name, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that as live. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to mark this on my end. This is upgraded to live, so that way when we see that, we're going to know Drew is a live review. Okay, awesome. We've got that all noted. And Tyler, do you have any last minute questions for us, my friend? Is there anything that we didn't cover well enough that you wanted us to cover? Let us know, because this is your time to shine, my man. Want to make sure you feel good, happy, content with the review. Yeah. I'm assuming Badaki is muted because
no, I am here. Sorry, okay. I am just getting some of these playbooks, these stuff
You're
created
good.
for us. But we appreciate you, Tyler. He says, I think I'm good. All right.
Sweet. Okay, so a little update on the stream, guys. Okay, a little update on the stream with the current amount of reviews we can do today. We've done quite a few. This is a big prep day for me for content, so I can't go too crazy on today's stream. Right now, Corey and Playmakers have been done offline. They are already completed. Tech is currently an offline review. Nurka they say that they want to upgrade, but we'll wait until they upgrade. The next one that we are doing is Jalen Hurts for sure on today's stream. Then we will do Scrooty. And then I can't promise you today, Drew, but worst case scenario, you're 100% on tomorrow's stream. Let me know if that's okay. Again, trying to, get these out for you guys in a reasonable amount of time, but also I got to make sure and prep content. We've got a new video editor who is transitioning this week for us, and I got to give them as much time as well. But let me know if that's okay, Kevin, if you're okay for tomorrow to be
You'll most likely be the first one tomorrow.
You would be the first one, yeah.
But yeah, appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support.
Appreciate you big time, man. Let us know if that's okay.
Jalen Hurts, the Super Bowl quarterback winner here.
Yeah, let's go to Jalen Hurts next. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for the support. We appreciate you. Let's have a look at this. This is a 2-quarterback, 12-team start 9. So really same meat and potatoes as we just saw, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
With Tyler here. And you are currently ranked 5th out of 12, a 12-man league. And you have a crazy Thanos. Let's just have a little sneak peek at this team here.
So his name is Getting Genty, is that right?
No, his name is not Getting Genty.
Oh,
his league has a crazy Thanos.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm excited. Okay, right. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is Thanos.
Brock Bowers and Trey McBride. Breece Hall, CMC
Ashton
there.
Genty. Yeah, that's
That's
okay, Darius, this is your team. How honest do you want us to be, Darius? That's my first question.
We haven't even looked at your team, and this is not okay.
Darius, I want to know how brutally honest you want us to be. Okay? He wants us to be really honest. Okay. Okay, let's look at his team first. Wait.
Yeah,
please tell me you don't have no draft capital. I know that was terrible English. Darius, please tell me this is a glitch and you have draft capital, but we can't see it.
Let's read the context, because I think I had a little quick read. It says, I won last season. Congratulations. I sold a lot to get this team, and my plan was to ride it till 2027, 2028. What do you think? Should I trade my key players away for 2027 picks? So you went all in for this past year. You got the dub, but you have no picks in the next 2 years, which is totally okay.
And this is the beauty of fantasy football. I think all of us can very clearly see that Getting Genty with it is by far the best team in this league on paper. It's not even close. I mean, he has double the amount of value points of any other team in this league. More than double, okay? And this reminds me of my Bravo team, which has never won a championship. I have been the favorite in Bravo for 4 years. For 4 years, I've been the favorite. And I have never won a championship in this league, right? With a league that has Mahomes, Jacobs, DJ Metcalf, Kelsey, AJ Brown, Tyreek, Darnold, Tua, Malik Neighbors, Olave, Christian McCaffrey, all right? Draft capital. This team has been the favorite in this league for 4 years, and I have never won the championship. Doesn't matter how good a team is on paper. There is so much randomness to fantasy football, to dynasty football, that even though there's a huge team like Getting Genty with it, this guy, right, Darius, won a championship last year with this team, with Tank Bigsby as his RB3, with Jane Reed as his wide receiver 3.
Yep. Jalen McMillan, who went crazy in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken.
How about my guy, Jalen McMillan? I hope you drafted him because I showed him some love last year, but you may have loved him on your own. The reality is, the odds of you repeating are very low. Like, I'm not a mathematician, but if you put like a number behind it, a percentage, I think it's probably 10%, 15%, maybe 20%. You are one injury away from being... You are 2 injuries away from being a top 5 pick in your rookie draft.
Yeah, and the thing is, you don't even have capital for next year.
Yeah. I mean, you've kind of put yourself in a box here, though.
I think you have to try and compete.
You have to. You can't go out there and buy both of your first round picks in future seasons. It's going to be almost impossible to do that. So you need Kamara to stay healthy. You need him to keep his old role. You need Jane Reed to step the fuck up. Okay, it's a start 9. So it's Herbert, Goff, Bijan, Kamara, CeeDee, Amon-Ra, Kraft, and then we need 2 more. How the fuck did you win the championship, man? Like, respectfully, how?
Well, if we're looking at the team, if we're looking at Thanos, no, how'd you do that? Nah, CMC, nah, the Thanos team didn't have a running back to start, so that was huge. That was probably the offset actually. He had because if I
Yeah.
remember correctly, Chase, Malik, London, Jackson all did pretty decent in the playoffs. Even if one of those guys went down, he still had Brock Bowers and Trey McBride. So CMC was him not having RB2 was a deciding factor there for sure.
This is tough, man. I mean, there really is no other way outside of a Windows open here. Really, I like you gotta play with what you have. You beat Genty in the championship. I bet your entire league loved that. I bet they were obsessed with you winning the championship. Everyone loves an underdog story. Look, Darius, the only way outside of a Windows open pathway for this team, because you have literally no picks for the next 2 years, is for you to sell off Bijan, CD, Amon-Ra, Herbert. That is the only way outside of this, and it really only matters if you get your own picks back. If you do not get your own picks back, you're basically, by making those trades, giving someone else the 101 in the next 2 years. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I don't see an option outside of just competing. Also, why is your name Jalen Hurts?
He's clearly an Eagles fan. So you telling me you won your championship and you're Eagles fan and your team won the Super Bowl? It was a good year, my guy. You were
It was a good year for you. By the way, Kevin, I appreciate that donation on the Flock site, man. You didn't need to do that, by the way. And I appreciate you donating on YouTube in the first place. We just have to say that so just for the future, people know where to upgrade. Yeah. But I'm assuming that means you're okay with tomorrow being your review day. Let me know. He says he's an Eagles fan. Darius says, okay. I mean, look, Badaki, there is not an option outside of competing with this team. And you can't do anything with your quarterbacks. There's no wiggle room. The only wiggle room on this team is a Bijan and a CD tear down. Now, you have a starting lineup at the moment of Herbert Goff, Bijan Kamara, CD Amon-Ra, Kraft. You need 2 more names. I do not know those 2 names that you trust. It's certainly not anyone out in your running back room from Tank Bigsby downward. It could be Reed McMillan. We have no idea what McMillan is going to be with a healthy Godwin. Probably not startable. And do you have anyone on your waiver wire? I would definitely pick up Elijah Mitchell. Let's start here.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at. Elijah Mitchell. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to pick up somebody, but I mean, I'll pick him up for shits and gigs. You have nothing to lose. Miles Sanders.
Well, let's just go from each position. Priority pickups include Joe Milton, Elijah Mitchell, Miles Sanders, AJ Barner. Those are my top 4.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
You can pick up Roman Wilson if you want, Devon Bailey if you want. Drops on this team. Johnny Wilson, you're gone. Thanks for nothing. John
6'7",
you're gone.
Whoa.
Thanks for nothing.
Let's do 4. Will Shipley, John
I don't want
Mechie.
to drop anyone else, but if you need to clear space, it would probably be Tucker and one of Shipley or Keaton. I prefer to hold those guys, but if you need to clear space, those are the names. But again, I would prefer over any of the names we just talked about, the combination of Milton, Mitchell, Sanders, Roman, and AJ Barner. Okay? Now that we have that out of the way, your untouchables on this team are technically Bijan Robinson and CeeDee Lamb. However, the irony in that is that in order for you to literally make any moves at all whatsoever in your league and to make any difference, you would probably have to tear down from those guys. You know what I mean? And then as far as the holds on this team, that would be a Reed, a McMillan. I don't actually know if McMillan's a hold. We'll talk about that. I almost think you can pivot to a guy that helps you right now as much as, and I'm the biggest McMillan guy you'll find, but I'd say Reed Kraft, Ferguson, and then let's put Bigsby there as holds as well. As much as I love McMillan, if you can get yourself into like a Cooper Kupp, Diggs, Adams, Evans, Godwin, I don't really know that I can suggest for you not to make a move like that, considering you have no benefit to wait for the McMillan breakout, you know? But I really would hate to sell him. I'm just speaking out loud. I'm speaking transparently. But this is Windows Open. Have we done all admin?
Yeah, that's all admin.
Well, we don't need to look at draft capital because we don't have any. We will explore McMillan. That hurts my heart. We will do it. We will explore.
Get him off.
We will explore a tear down of Bijan. It's a terrible time to tear down from CD.
Well, that's...
Maybe we use Amon-Ra St. Brown as a tear down.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know what else you do with this team, man, outside of these three moves.
My thing is, like... I guess now you kind of have to tear down those X. I was like, do we even tear down now? We might as well just wait until in season. Like...
None of these guys are going to gain or lose
I can't
value
do anything.
until the season,
Exactly.
though.
Exactly. So
let's start with the big boys. Bijan. So you want to tear down. I would say you can only tear down to like that second tier I have. Let me show you what I mean. Sorry, the third tier, like a Bucky Achane. Maybe some of the guys in tier 4, a Taylor Brees, maybe, but Bucky Achane is where I'm the most comfortable. And I think we should explore those two teams. And man, I am hoping they have some tear down options. So let's look at the Bucky Irving team. So yeah, they have plenty of tear down options. This could definitely work. I think it'd have to be like Bucky DJ 109.
Bucky DJ 109. Yeah, I think that's a good. You're getting more depth at the wide receiver position. That already solves your Jalen McMillan situation.
And you could probably hold Jalen in this scenario. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. You'll know how far you can push it. I mean, can you add the 202 on top of that? How much value can you extract? You'll know better than us. Can you add a Cooper Kupp if not the 202? You know, you'll know exactly how much value, again, that you can extract. Can you add a Cooper Kupp at minimum and then send away back, you know, a Wan'Dale Robinson? You know?
Yeah.
These are starting points. These are to get you in the door. You're going to have to close a deal ultimately. Devon Achane. I hope we have a similar team here. And, yeah. I'd say we have a close. Like, Achane 106. I hate Zay Flowers, but...
Yeah, you don't like saying.
In this scenario, you could maybe sell Zay Flowers after the fact. Well, what about Achane Nico?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Achane Nico. I think that might be...
I don't know if you could get
actually,
that done.
I don't know if... I don't know either. Cause what's Nico? Early second?
Yeah, that might be asking too much, but...
Achane is probably like late second, early third.
Yeah.
In a startup.
I think I would do either of these where it's Flowers or James Cook. So Achane Cook 106, Achane Flowers 106. That's really where I want to be, though. I don't really want to go down to a JT, but we will explore JT. And then we will explore a Brees Hall as well. I think those are the last two names we're really going to explore. Otherwise, you might as well just hold. So, Jonathan Taylor. That's a tough one. It'd have to be like Taylor McConkey. I don't think this is a good fit for either team. I don't think this guy is wanting to tier up either. I doubt this is going to work.
Yeah, I'm not in love with it.
Let's look at the Brees Hall owner. That is the... Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. So the issue with acquiring Brees Hall is you're going to give this guy a lineup of Genty, Bijan, McCaffrey at running back. So let's not do that. We don't want to make him even stronger. All those options, though, man. All those options. I really like the HN Bucky deals. Let's go Amon-Ra next. I'm just gonna go from the second team downwards. Okay, so Benelli Ballers. Benelli Ballers has. What about like AJ Brown 109? I'm not sure that really accomplishes what we want.
No, I don't think so either.
But what about AJ Brown and Ken Walker?
I mean, look,
or something?
you pivot and then you get a draft pick. You get some more capital. So I mean, I guess technically it does accomplish what you want, but I don't know if you can get AJ Brown, Walker and something.
That's probably asking too much. No.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible.
It's not perfect, is it? Nico would probably be ideal if we could go like Nico Cook.
Nico James Cook.
And then we need to send back something, obviously. Like in this scenario, we'd have to send back probably McMillan. And does this guy need a tight end by chance? No. You could try McMillan Ferguson though. That's probably not going to happen. I think Bijan gives you the most power in a move like this. Yeah, so Amon-Ra, you could try to go down to Lad, but you're not going to get the 102 in Lad. That's not going to work. Ayuk isn't. These guys aren't high enough. No. I mean, Adunze 104?
104. Yeah, Adunze 104. So you're getting either running back there, got a young wide receiver. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, that could work. I don't know if the state of that team is wanting to make a move like that. Yeah, the better moves are with Bijan, I think. And then as far as Jalen McMillan goes, you know, it's... if you can pivot to like a Devontae Adams, a Chris Godwin, a Mike Evans, those type of players to go out and compete for the next 2 years, I think you're probably going to be in a better spot. This is what I can offer you, my friend. I offered you honesty. We both offered you honesty. We offered you transparency, and we offered you a way to maybe extend this window a little bit. Darius says, I gave my picks to Beamer Ball for BR, and he traded it all to the top guy. Who's BR? Bijan... Oh, for Bijan Robinson. Right.
Right.
So does the top guy have all of your picks? Is that what you're saying? Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I guess you can't really see what he has in 20.
But Darius, hey, that is what we can offer, my friend. I hope it was helpful, and I hope it wasn't too honest, but it was, what you needed to hear. And please let us know if you have any other questions, man. Definitely got to take advantage of this window now. You've put yourself in a box. And by the way, last thing I'll say here, the ultimate goal in a Dynasty League is to win a Dynasty League. You've already done that. So you should feel good about that,
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the support, Drew. Let us know if you have any last-minute questions. Darius. But as always, you should be receiving your playbook within 72 hours on the Flock Fantasy Message System. Thank you so much, man. Yeah. Appreciate you. And good luck. Honestly, if you can make another run with this team, even make it to the playoffs and maybe not win it all, that speaks a lot to what you have already. So, huge love.
All right. I think the last one for today...
Scrooty
is Scrooty. And if Dadbot is watching, he says, hey, the team review I submitted, can you make it live? Okay, perfect. And I'm just gonna reply to Dadbot real quick and say, you are good to go. We will review your squad on tomorrow's stream, just to let him know. And Drew knows as well.
Oh my God.
What?
Okay.
Scrudy?
I didn't look at Scrudy's team, but I'm seeing the graph.
Okay, hold on. Let's do the math real quick. What number is this?
I'm seeing the graph, and I'm also seeing if you just scroll down just a little bit without clicking his name.
Okay.
Look at the rank at each position.
I see. Okay, hold on. Hold on. What number is this? What number is this review for Scrudy?
This is 224.
Okay, guys. So
have a look at the
we
team
have
yet.
had 0.9% of teams ever submitted given the Thanos tag. 0.9% of teams ever submitted have been given the Thanos tag. So,
oh boy.
Let's read the context and let's see. Let's have a look. It could be the next one. Could be our third team of all time here as a Thanos.
Yeah. This is a 2-quarterback 10-team start 10. He says, just wanted an update on my team leaving to the draft. Any thoughts on teasing picks or keeping them would be great. All right, I'm going to click on his team here. Let's have a look. Yeah.
Well, that wide receiver room, he has the 102, the 104.
He has the 102, 104. Let's have a read. Let's have a read, and then we can give an official one. Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Caleb Williams, JJ
That quarterback
McCarthy.
room is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. We can definitely utilize one of these guys to get maybe some better wide receivers. We'll see. At the running back position, Bijan, Bucky, Chuba, Trey. Phenomenal. You have the 102. That could be Bijan, Amarion, Bucky, Chuba. Crazy. The wide receiver room, start 4. Chase, Brian Thomas, Roma Dunze, Jaden Reed. So your 4th starting wide receiver is what falls off. But you do have the 104 and the 105 that could be Tet, Luther, whatever the case may be with Brock Bowers as a tight end position there.
You know what? I don't think I can give it the Thanos tag. Do you want to know why? Think about the starting lineup.
Listening.
Daniels, May, Bijan, Bucky, no problem so far, right? Chase, Thomas, no problem so far. Bowers. So through our start 7, no problems. Thanos. Now we have to think about the flex. Our flex right now is going to be a combination of Adunze, Reed, Chuba.
It could be Amarion and Rome.
Yeah.
At the 102. It could be Tet and Rome at the 102.
Once you really add in those picks.
Like put the rookie name in the flex option, because in reality he can technically start as many running backs as he wants. We would rather obviously have wide receivers in that flex option.
Well,
but if Amarion's a first round pick and he goes to the Steelers,
it feels like this team is deserving. Because then once you use the 102, 104, 105, you could actually be in a scenario where Chuba Reed is on your bench.
Exactly.
Do we feel comfortable labeling this a Thanos?
I will say let's continue to talk it out. I feel like I think this is a Thanos. What does the community think? Is this a Thanos for everyone?
Well, I also think we have to keep in mind that we don't need to keep 4 quarterbacks either. So I think when you think about the distribution of all assets, like McCarthy is movable, Caleb is movable. We can move one of these quarterbacks if we want to. Along with the draft capital, the 102, 104, 105. I really think this is... I mean, even the top end, Daniels, Bijan, Chase, Brock. He almost has a number 1 quarterback or the number 1 positional player at every position. And the depth is pretty nice. I'm on the edge here. I'm edging with this team.
What's that mean?
Ask ChatGPT.
Look, I personally think, I think we can make one simple thing. We can make one. If we had Well, I don't know. Like, I was gonna say Ted, but not that many people love Ted McMillan.
I mean, if you could turn the 102 into Drake London, right?
Sure. I say we should turn. What's the 104? I'd rather guarantee the 104. I'd rather sell the 104 for a wide receiver and then fix my flex, because then I still have the flexibility. Like, I think I don't know. I personally think if I'm looking at this without making moves and the draft capital and who's about to come in, I think this is a Thanos. I think with the moves that we're going to offer him, selling a quarterback,
as currently
constructed,
it's
I think
not there yet, but it's literally on the edge. I'm gonna say baby Thanos.
I want to go back to the guy that had the baby Thanos, because I think this team is better than the baby Thanos.
I think it is too.
So if this team is better than the baby Thanos, I don't know. Maybe I need to look back at the old Thanos team. I don't know. That's my perspective, but
people are saying we're being too generous, man. I really don't think how can you look at this team and not, I don't know.
Tyler Thanos. Is this team better than?
How can you look at this team and not think it's almost Thanos?
Okay, if we even just go back one spot to Jalen Hurts,
it's a toddler Thanos. Yeah, there we go. I'm settled on that. I don't want to waste any more time. We're gonna say toddler Thanos. It's not gonna officially go into the record as a Thanos, so it means we're going contender. But on the actual playbook, all right, it is going to say toddler Thanos. We can't officially label it right now, but I think Badaki is correct in the fact that you make pretty much one move and this team is a Thanos. I mean, you get a London, you add a T. Higgins at the 105 or something, you know, you're pretty much right there. But as currently constructed, I'm going to say toddler Thanos. JC, great contribution there. But I do think the wide receiver room is a little too short. But yeah, that's what we're going to go. Your untouchables. How much time do you have? Daniels, Bijan, Chase, Bowers, Thomas. You got 5. Your holds on this team include Roma Dunze, include JJ McCarthy, which we might end up selling, Benson, Isaac. Your drops, you can drop Rondale if you want. You can drop Luke McCaffrey if you want. That's 2. On the waiver wire, look, your team is already stacked enough. We don't need to do anything on the waiver wire. All right. Let's see. Let's go to the chalkboard here. All right, are we happy?
Yeah, draft A- overall team grade.
Overall team grade A flat.
A flat, yeah, because of Thanos when he gets A+.
Yeah.
Draft capital, maybe just a B+.
3 first rounds in the first top 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna say A- at least.
I hear. Okay,
so at the top end of the 102, right now, based off consensus, you're probably choosing between one of these names, Hampton or McMillan. Right? What's crazy is if Hampton actually goes round 1, that is more than enough for me to label this a Thanos. But we've been pretty stingy, guys. Less than 0.9% of teams ever submitted got a Thanos, and I don't feel uncomfortable leaning that way here. But as currently constructed, I'm with everyone here. But let's say you went a Hampton, you came back and you grabbed a Burden at the 105. He ended up going round 1, and at the 104 you went Henderson as well. I mean, that's insane. Like, let's just play this out on its own. Your flex is no longer Reed and Chuba. You can put Hampton in there, Henderson or Burden, Reed or Chuba, which is actually stupid. That's crazy. And then at the 206, you're still in range to kind of add a quality player. Golden's not going to be available there, but any of those guys would. I'm not opposed to trading for a vet with these picks. I would probably hold the 102.
I would hold the 102 as well.
I could consider moving the 104 or the 105 for a veteran, like a guaranteed name. Not that you even have to, but for a guaranteed name, I'm definitely not opposed to looking at a move like that. And you concur here.
I concur. I concur, Doctor.
He concurs. We both concur. All right. So, we've talked about like a T. Higgins comes to mind for a team like this. Let's have a look at my wide receiver tiers here. First off, I don't think Nico. We don't have Nico, do we? No. Okay. I don't think Nico Collins is possible here at the 104. But I would just say, like, I would spend the 104 and the 206, for example, to get
for Nico.
Something like that done. Even if it starts a conversation and we can try and find a way to get there, I would do that for Nico. I would definitely do that for Drake London as well. Those type of names come to mind there. And honestly, I would probably do that deal for a lot of players. A JSN.
I'm thinking
maybe you only need to send the 104. A Marvin, would you do this for Marvin?
Yeah, Marvin. I mean, JSN, London, Marvin. I think of Garrett Wilson. I'll be interested in.
Garrett Wilson, I would do the 105 for.
Sure.
As well as T. Higgins.
T. Higgins. I don't know about AJ Brown if you want to go a little bit older.
Right. I mean, you could probably pay that price with the team you have right now for an AJ.
Yeah.
And you might as well grab someone that you can go win now with, right? And the AJ Brown owner, they have like the 209. Would you do like the 105 for AJ and the 209 or something?
Yeah.
I mean, what you could actually just ask for AJ Brown and Devontae Adams. Go out there and win right now.
That's Thanos.
That is Thanos. If you get just that move alone is Thanos.
Solid Thanos.
You can send a future third. If you have to send a second, you can decide if that's worth it to you or not. But yeah, that kind of tier. I like Rice, but I feel like we can go compete right now, and I don't know. I'll explore it. Every league values Rashee Rice a little bit differently, right? I've never had to send the 105 straight up for him, but in certain leagues, I'm sure you might have to. But like Rice in the 207, you probably can't get the 202. What if you did the 105 plus the 206 for Rashee Rice plus the 202 plus the 207? So those are some options there. But yeah, I think I wouldn't mind trading both of these picks. I mean, let's say you used the 104 and, let's say you ended up getting a London or a Collins. You're already a Thanos at that point. Then you turn around and use the 105 to get a T. Higgins. Okay, so we now have a starting lineup, guys, just by using the 104 and the 105. This is crazy. Of Daniels, May, Bijan, Bucky, Chase, Thomas, Bowers, and then our flex is filled with Drake London, T. Higgins, and one of Omarion Hampton, Chuba, Jaden Reed. That's just crazy.
I mean, you know what's crazy? That we didn't even use Caleb Williams or JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, we haven't even used one of those guys. And you might as well, I'd say, hold until a breakout. That's what I think we should do with these guys. Caleb Williams, JJ McCarthy. I don't think any of them it's wise to sell. Even Drake May. And then when they break out, you can decide exactly what you want to trade them for to make your roster as top heavy as possible. You know what I mean? I actually don't think I want to trade those guys right now. I do believe Caleb's going to break out in that offense. Drake May finally has a one. Well, a version of a one. McCarthy is in a quarterback-proof spot. I don't think we should sell those guys.
Yeah, no, I think this is a great team. Personally, Scrooty, I think this is a phenomenal team. I think, sure, as constructed, there are holes, but with the draft capital that you have, this is easily a Thanos in my eyes.
Sure. I'm honestly I am honestly more on the Thanos side than the non-Thanos side, so I get it. I don't think that's
feel
crazy.
like I'm trying to think. Like Thanos has vision in his hand with his fingers. Like he's about to take the
Vision the final
last
stone?
Like okay. he gets
Wait, no.
like
the final stone is the time stone, no? Because
no, he has a time stone.
Are you sure?
Then he goes to Wakanda and he kills Vision and then he snaps his fingers.
I thought the final stone was the scene where like Doctor Strange is going through all the possibilities of how this could end. And he says there's one possibility. It's him and Tony Stark. No? That's not the final stone?
That's like the second stone he gets.
Oh, okay.
Third stone.
Okay. My bad.
So like Thanos, you literally have Vision in your hands about to take the stone out of his forehead. Like,
yeah, you're right. It is the Mind Stone.
You're seconds away, brother. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. You're one stone away. This is an incredibly good team. You should feel great about it. I don't have anything else to say, and I think you're already killing it on your own. So keep doing your thing.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. You should be receiving your playbook within 72 hours on the Flock Fantasy Message System with everything that we drew up here for you today. But thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. This is a phenomenal team.
I really wanted to put that Thanos up there. Look, if you make one trade, that you're here. If you make one of these trades that we talked about today, you are here. Okay, that is probably going to be it for today, guys. About a 2-hour stream. I have a bunch of prepping I have to do for content this week. We have a new video editor. I want to make sure they have enough time and they feel good. Corey and Playmaker, your offline reviews are done. Tech, your offline review will be done tomorrow. And then I think Nurk is going to upgrade. Drew already upgraded, as well as Dadbod. Both of you guys will be on tomorrow's stream guaranteed. Excuse me. And if anybody out there is watching this and they want their team reviewed, it's a great time to get your review in. The earlier you get into the queue, obviously, the earlier your team review is done, right? You can get your team playbook, which we would consider a customized game plan. Every team we reviewed today, they get this graphic afterwards within 72 hours, right? You can become a promo code LAND annual Mother Flocker member. You'll use a voucher on the Flock site. It'll make the team review offline version free. The live review is just $7 to upgrade for annual members. And if you're a promo code for a different creator, you can go through that same Flock Fantasy purchase process. You just have to purchase it outright. And if you're a member with us and you've already had a team review, but you want another team review, you can go through the same process, but you get 30% off, which is awesome.
Yeah, appreciate
that. Is it for today.
Big announcement, mañana.
Yes.
You don't want to miss out.
And
turn your notifications on.
Also, I want to quickly say before we end the stream, I am preparing a video this week, and I want to hear your thoughts. All right, I'm going to paste this link in the chat. If you have a buy low that you want to be included in this week's video, I have done this in the past. I really enjoy hearing your thoughts and your opinions. We've already got a bunch of great entries. But if you want to be a part of an upcoming video and you have a buy low in mind, go to that tweet. Let me know. Now, here's the deal. You can't just say one name and that's it. I'm not going to use it, honestly. If like, for example, shout out to Context Kappa for including, some information here. But originally, they just said DJ Moore. Look, I love DJ Moore, but I'm not going to use this in content. It's not helpful for me to say, someone thought DJ Moore. Tell me why, and then we can give my opinions on why you think that is a good buy low. Here's some great examples. For example, this guy was Khalil Shakir, Ramondre Waddle. Like, these guys all have solid foundation and rationale for their takes. So if you want to be a part of an upcoming video, I'm going to bring some of my thoughts. I'm going to bring some of your thoughts. Should create for a great video, a great resource for everybody in the industry. And again, like Badaki said, go ahead and rock up to tomorrow's stream, okay? Rock up to tomorrow's stream. Big, exciting announcement. And
be careful.
I can't wait for you guys to be a part of it. So, all right, adios. See you guys in tomorrow. Love. Later.